Cosmetic surgery. During ancient times, it was a custom to gash one's flesh to mourn the dead. Through various sources, we learn that it is forbidden to both gash one's flesh for the dead and to mutilate one's body. This source is used for the debate over whether or not cosmetic surgery is permissible. The common belief, which comes from Devarim 14:1, is that it is forbidden to inflict wounds on our bodies. We are God's children, and He is to us what a father is to his children. It would be a disgrace to change our body for no good reason. Many rabbis concluded that if one is trying to change his or her image because of a birth defect or an abnormal body part, then cosmetic surgery is permissible. However, tattoos or the enhancement of something that is fine the way it is prohibited. Vayikra 19:28. You shall not make a cut in your flesh for the dead, and a tattoo shall you not place upon yourselves. I am God. It was an ancient custom for people to cut their flesh to mourn the dead.
Devarim 14:1. You are children to God, your God. You shall not cut yourselves, and you shall not make a bald spot between your eyes for a dead person. This is forbidden because you are children to God, implying that it is disgraceful to God for His children to inflict wounds on their bodies.
Yevamot 13b. You shall not inflict a wound upon yourself when grieving for a dead person.
Mishnah Makot 3:5. One who makes a bald spot on his head, or who rounds the corner of his head, who destroys the corner of his beard, or who inflicts a single gash over someone who died, he is liable. If he inflicted one gash over 5 people who died, or 5 gashes over 1 person who died, he is liable for each one. On the head 2, 1 on each side. On the beard 2 on each side and 1 below. Rabbi Eliezer said, if he removed one all at once, he is liable only once. He is not liable unless he removes it with the razor. Even if he plucked it with a tweezer or with a plane, he is liable.
Rambam Hilchot Akum 12:12. A person who gouges himself for the dead is lashed, as Leviticus 19:28 states. Do not gouge your flesh for the dead. This applies both to priests and Israelites. A person who makes a single gouge for 5 dead people or 5 gouges for a single dead person is liable for 5 measures of lashes, provided he is given a warning for each individual matter.
Sefer HaMitzvot 45. We are forbidden to make cuttings in our flesh as the idolaters do. You shall not inflict any bruises for the dead. Cutting with the hand is the same as cutting with an instrument. One who cuts himself for the dead is liable for whipping. In the practice of idolatry, one is liable if he does it with an instrument, but exempt if he does it with his hand. Rabbi Ibn Ezra says that knowing that you are the children of God, that His love for you is even greater than that of a father to his child, you shall not mutilate your bodies for whatever He does for you, since whatever He does is for the best. Even if you do not understand His ways, you shall nevertheless trust Him, even as the little ones who do not yet truly understand their father rely on Him. And Nachmanides says that this commandment is for the basis of the rabbinic injunction against giving way to excessive grief in the case of death in one's family.
Sefer HaChinuch 467 says not to gash our bodies as idol worshippers do. It was stated in 2 Pesukim listed above. It is not becoming for the chosen people to slash themselves. He cites the sources from above. So now to apply this to cosmetic surgery.
Okay. There's an article in Judaism and Cosmetic Surgery. After explaining that no response had yet been written on the topic of plastic surgery, he dealt with the question of whether one may undergo plastic surgery for the purpose of improving one's physical appearance. As Rabbi Jacobowitz eloquently describes in his classic work, Jewish Medical Ethics, he concluded definitively that plastic surgery for aesthetic enhancement is a form of arrogance and vanity, particularly for men, and is forbidden unless the patient meets certain criteria. His concerns have to do with health. The problem was the possible risks to life involved in any operation, such as the Jewish objection to mutilation of the body since ancient times. He later wrote that his reservations can be discounted provided the danger is minimal.
Rabbi Auerbach says that if the plastic surgery is done to prevent suffering and shame caused by a defect in his looks, for instance a nose which is very abnormal, this would be permitted. However, if the only reason is for beauty, then this is not permitted.